Hello everyone and welcome back guys to the start of something a little bit different. We're here today on Assetto Corsa on PC, but actually not for some sim racing system. We are here for my very first Red Line Motorsport race, starting in the Renault Clio Cup. I sort of saw this series and, you know, being on the new wheel and everything like that, I really sort of wanted to try and get in and race something a little bit slow, you know, just try and build a bit of confidence in these cars. I gave a couple of laps in some practice and they were absolutely brilliant, so looking forward to this quite short series on the whole. Only 4 weeks, sadly I won't be able to make next week out at Monaco, but we qualified P4 then on the grid, ready for the first round of this series. The lights are about to come on and really looking forward to seeing what we can muster up in this Renault Clio Cup. It is 6 red lights here at the start of the race and it is lights out and away we go then for round 1 of the season here at Hockenheim. It's been a fairly mediocre start on the whole as we come in towards turn 1. We're not really going to be able to challenge the guys in front there to try and keep it nice and tidy. We've got a guy on our outside there, I think that's Linon, just trying to look around the outside, but sadly can't get the run on the exit of the corner there, so we are going to be able to hold on, but he's going to have a look back around the outside very late on the brakes as we come through turn 2 there. The number 3 car just up the road getting it all wrong through turn 2 there, and we're going to be able to try and get a little bit of a run, try and capitalise on him and the number 10 car, sort of tripping over each other as we come down this next straightaway here. Are we going to be able to do any sort of move there? We're going to brake nice and tidily into the next corner. There's a tiny bit of contact maybe between myself and Roy there, but we do get the run up the inside there, and that's going to be someone else running wide on the exit of the corner there, so that's going to be us now moving up into P2 of the race there. So a very good start by ourselves there. Peter just made a bit of a mistake as we came through the next couple of corners there, and yeah, that's going to be us up from P4 all the way up into P2 of the start of this race here. Already Anton is making a little bit of a breakaway off the start, but yeah, really enjoying these Renault Clio Cup cars, you know, brilliant fun, something a little bit different, but yeah, just one of those little series I'd love to try and have a go in as well there. And obviously when I saw this league, gave this car a couple of laps, I think it was around Vallelunga, I did some practice and it was just absolutely brilliant, so I had to jump on in ready for this series here. As we come through the final couple of corners though, on the end of a lap, about just under halfway through this race, so about lap 5 here at this stage of the day there. We're now closed up the gap to Anton here as we come through turn 1. He's going to run a bit too wide there. I think that's going to involve a bit of a slowdown for him, but we're going to be able to try and get up the inside in towards turn 2 there, and this is going to be one of the best battles I think I have all night there. We get the car nice and tidily slowed down on to the curbs there, and we just try to get a bit of a good run on the exit of the corner there, but Anton's going to be able to get a bit of a switchback move. Obviously these things front wheel drive, so switchbacks are definitely a possibility there, as he's now going to move to the outside there. We try to play it defensive as we come up in towards the hairpin there. It's going to be pretty even on the brakes there. Anton just a little bit later, it turns out that we clip the curb on the inside, the only time I've ever had that curb really sort of throw me up into the air there, and that's going to give him the chance once again to go for the switchback move here. Once again though, just trying to park it on the apex, but he's going to go right around the outside there in towards the next fast right-hander there. We're going to go for the switchback move on him, just running a little bit wide on the exit of the corner. That almost contact made between the powers there. Was still side by side here in towards the final couple of corners of the lap in through the stadium section there. We're given the room on the outside there and still side by side, but luckily for me he just outbraked himself ever so slightly there, and we'd then be able to get the cutback move and now move ourselves up into the lead of this race there. Anton's still trying to look round the outside though in towards the final couple of corners there. We're going to try and defend on the apex there and now move ourselves up comfortably into the lead of this race, especially as now, as it turns out, he did have a slowdown there, and that's going to mean that he's going to have to bail out and drop a good couple of seconds to myself. Actually, I'm really happy with that one for ourselves. You know, good little piece of racing action there, and sadly that would be all she'd write even, I should say, for the first race of the night there. Not the most action-packed in the world, but once we get up into the lead, you know, we'd just be able to pull out a bit of a margin there. Linden would come through for P2 there with Anton in P3. Jack and Peter still having a very titanic battle for P4 there at the end of race 1, but it is going to be our very first race victory in a Red Line Motorsport, my very first race victory outside of sim racing system on Assetto Corsa. Really happy with that one, especially, you know, my first proper race on the new wheel. Yeah, really happy with that one to finish off the first race of the night on a high. But we're ready then for race 2 here. It's a full reverse grid race here. So we are starting right at the very back. It's going to be a bit of a last question mark challenge here for the second race of the night. But the 5 lights are now on, and it is lights out, and away we finally get going there. Once again, quite a long hold, but this time round we do get a bit of a better start. Then we need to try and get past Limon as quickly as possible here as we come now down in towards turn 1 there. He's just a little bit later on the brake, swings it right around the outside, but on the exit of the corner there, it's going to be absolute carnage between quite a few drivers there, everyone bunching up there. Somehow we're just going to be able to thread the needle, almost get caught out on the outside of Anton there as we come through turn 2. And turn 3 there, we just want to try and keep the nose clean through those corners there. We're going to try and go for a bit of a switchback move. For some reason this time around, Crew Chief was coming through on the audio there, so luckily that's hopefully going to help us out as well. I think I had it going through the wrong audio channel first time out tonight. There we're almost going to be 3 wide in towards the next couple of corners. There's a little bit of bumping and bashing just in front of me, but we do get up the inside of Peter there. Are we going to be able to keep the move? Yes, we do there. Slam the door shut on the exit of the corner there, but we almost run into the back of Anton there. Peter dives it back up the inside through the next couple of corners, and that's going to be still us just about holding on to P7 off the start of this race. So not the worst start in the world, but certainly not the best as well. Limon's been able to make a little bit of a breakaway there from myself. You know, he's early stages, very early stages of the season there, but he looks like a very fierce rival off the start of this championship there as we come through in towards the hairpin, towards the end of lap 1, and we're just trying to close up the gap once again to Anton there as he's just, you know, sort of a good couple of tenths up the road. A little bit of brake blocking going up between a few guys further up the road as well. You know, we are slowly but surely closing back down this gap as we come out of the final corner to finish lap 1 of the second race of the night. And luckily no one's spreading out all too far off the start here, especially in the reverse group races. You really don't want someone to try and get a bit of a breakaway off of the start there, but we are going to be able to get a bit of a run on Anton there as we come up towards turn 2. They're just going to try and break that a little bit later there. We do get it nicely parked on the apex there. Luckily for me, he's not going to be able to get the switch back because Peter tried to follow me through there. A little bit of contact made between the pair of them there, but yeah, that's going to move myself up into P6 of this race. Now we've got a bit of a 3-way battle going on just in front there. Jack, Lewis and Limon, they're just in front of me. We're going to try and get the car slowed down in towards the next chicane there. Peter almost runs right into the back of me there. That was very, very close for myself there. And yeah, luckily we do get away from that one. But yeah, coming through the next couple of corners in through the second half of the lap, we're just really trying to close up this gap to the guys battling just in front of me here. Luckily a bit of side-by-side action should hopefully bunch them all up and help me get a little bit closer here in towards the stadium section there. And unfortunately we can't really capitalise on Limon there because we sort of just follow his line through the corner there. A horrible, horrible run by the pair of us there. And now we're going to try and swing it right around the outside through the hairpin. Are we going to be able to make that work? Really no chance of that ever really sort of being able to come off there as we almost run to the back of him through the next couple of corners. It's all bunching up in towards the final couple of corners to finish off a lap 2 there. Limon dives it down the inside there. We're going to get a much better run than him and Louis there as we come out of the final corner. We're going to be 3 wide in towards turn 1 there, and I'm just bailing out of that one there. Don't really fancy going 3 wide into turn 1 at Hockenheim. You know, being on the most compromised line, it didn't really feel like it was my place to be going for the dives. As well as, you know, I don't really sort of fancy making myself too many enemies in my very first league race there with a red line motorsport there as we come through turn 2 and at turn 3 we're going to try and get a good run on the exit of the corner there. But Louis once again just going to be able to get a phenomenal run down this next straightaway here. Is he going to be able to make any sort of move work on the outside of Limon there? We're going to be side by side there. We're just going to try and close up as well. A little bit of contact. Yes, they do though. We get down the inside of the pair from there, and unfortunately for Louis there, yeah, just a bit of contact that I'm sure he did not want there. And well, that's going to be us up now into P4 of this race. Absolutely perfect for myself there. And yeah, now we've got to try and close up the gap to Jack just up the road there. And I mean, we're less than a quarter of the way through the second race of the night, and the action has already been certainly intense so far. There are really yellow flags. I think there's someone kicks up some dust as we come in towards the stadium section to finish off lap 3 of this race. I'm pretty certain, yeah, lap 3 of the second race of the night. 2 20-minute races. Obviously, like I said, the reverse grid for race 2 really does provide a lot of racing action there as we come through the final couple of corners, and we are trying to close up that gap to Jack at the moment. We have got Limon all over the back of me, still trying to apply the pressure here. I'm sure he'd love to try and take some points out of me after the first race of the night. But a couple of laps later, though, we would be all over the back now of Jack there. We're going to try and go for a little bit of a room dive bomb up the inside. They're giving the room on the exit of the corner there. And now we're going to try and get a bit of a switchback move through the next couple of corners there. Are we going to be able to make this move work? We should be. We're nice and tidily up the inside there. So hopefully we can try and get this move done there. Up the inside we go there. Luckily, doesn't try and turn on me there. A little bit of contact maybe between the guys behind me once again there. But we do make the move work. And that is us now up into the podium places once again for the second round of the evening. And now we're going to try and close back up to Fudge and Roy, who is still leading the way at almost the halfway point of the second race of the night there as we come through the final couple of corners there. And talking to Roy, he actually makes a big mistake through the final corner there. That's going to put Fudge now up into the lead of this race. It's going to be, we're going to be right all over the back of Roy as we come in towards turn one there. He's going to make a little bit of a mistake through the first corner, and we're just going to try and close up this gap. You know, he's made the mistake now, so we need to try and apply the pressure as soon as possible. They're just trying to bait to the inside, fake a little bit of a move there as he tacks the curbs through turn two. We're going to try and get a bit of a switchback move through turn three there. He hasn't given himself the best run, very compromised there on the exit of the corner there, and he knows this. He's going to try and defend just a little bit on the inside. We're going to have a bait to the inside and then switch back to the outside in towards the next corner there. He's just going to outbrake himself ever so slightly, not quite enough though, and we're going to try and slide our way up the inside there. A tiny bit of contact maybe between the powers there. Luckily the front wheel drive meant he is able to save it there. You know, if you got to slide in the front wheel drive, just apply the power there as we try to get back around the outside in towards the next couple of corners here. This is going to give Limon an absolutely golden opportunity there. We're almost going to be 3 wide. We are going to be 3 wide as we come now down in towards the stadium section to finish off this lap there, and that's going to get very close between all three of us there. Luckily I bail out, almost get sandwiched up the, well, between them both there. Jack's now going to be able to have a look round the outside in towards the next couple of corners there. We're going to try and defend from him there. Limon doesn't get the run. We're going to be back up the inside of him as well. But this is so intense at this stage of the day. The second race of the night really providing a lot of action there. Limon makes a mistake. Jack's still on the inside. We're going to try and swing it right around the outside of him when we go there. And that's us back up into P4 of this race. Limon makes a little bit of a mistake then. We're going to be able to try and get a bit of a run though, not able to make anything work as we come in towards turn 1 there. And that's well, going to be him holding on to P3 once again here. But once again though, just getting the run through the next couple of corners there. Jack thinks we're going for a move. Limon there very early on the brakes, so we're going to be 3 wide through the corner there, and that's going to be us still on the outside. They're just trying to keep it up the inside of Limon there. We do make that move work, and we're going to be side by side once again. A bit of a drag race coming now down in towards the next couple of corners of this race here. We're about halfway stage now. And once again, just that bit later on the brakes there, Limon's going to try and keep it up the inside there, and he does defend that move. We're going to try and swing it back around the outside though. Are we going to be able to make this move work? I don't think really in this race has anyone been able to make it work there, but once again, yeah, he's just going to be able to get the run on the outside there, where we do just about get in front by the time we get through into the next corner there, and that's now going to be us back up into P3 of this race there. Luckily for me, Jack as well is going to try and have a look up the inside in towards the next couple of corners there. I think that's going to be Limon just about holding on there. Now we need to try and close back up the gap to Roy and Fudge Bucket here in towards the, well, 7 minutes to go of this race. So a couple of laps late here, and we are now all over the back of these two once again here. And this is going to be one of the weirdest double overtakes I'm ever going to be able to make there. A little bit of lag between myself and Roy there just on the server. But we're going to have a look to the outside there. Not really trying to go for any sort of move there. He's going to outbrake himself into the corner there, and I don't know what happened to Fudge Bucket as well though. I think he's going to do the same thing, and that's going to be a double overtake for myself there, just through, you know, a couple of very luckily timed mistakes from a couple of other drivers there. And yeah, like I said, that's going to be us now up into the race lead of race 2 of the evening there. So really happy with that one. And once again, once we got up into the lead, it was just trying to not make mistakes and hold on to the end of the race. They were able to build up a little bit of a gap over Limon and Fudge Bucket towards the end of the race there. Luckily for me, those two and Jack all having a bit of a ding-dong through the final couple of laps of this race there, which really did make the gap for myself a bit bigger than it realistically would have been there as well. But through the final couple of corners, it is going to be the back-to-back race victory to kick off this Renault Clio Cup. They're really really happy with the result there at the end of the day. 2 race victories couldn't have asked for much of a better result in my very first, race evening with a Red Line Motorsport there. Yeah, like I said, want to obviously try and continue the momentum. Unfortunately, like I said, though, cannot race at Monaco next time, sadly, due to work. But we will be back for round 3 at, I think it's Sandown, if I'm not mistaken, for round 3. Certainly a track that I don't recognise off the top of my head there. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching this video. Get yourself subscribed if you're new around here, and hopefully I will see you guys next time for another video.